This episode is sponsored by Steve, who runs a channel about flying cameras. You can find his link below and support his work by subscribing. In this episode, drone auditor Steve visits Cloth Road Police Station in Hull to carry out a illegal drone flight. However, the situation quickly gets tense when a police officer comes over while he is still flying and tells him to stop and leave the area. Even though Steve is not breaking any laws, the officer also tries to get his personal information without a legal reason. This shows the officer does not fully understand the basic rules around drone use and the law.
Hey mate.
Hello sir. What are we doing?
I'm just flying a quad.
Okay, where we're flying it over?
There.
Okay, well, it's been over the car park of the police station.
No, not yet, but it is going to in a minute.
And why? And it isn't. No,
It is.
No, it isn't.
Oh, it is.
Okay, why is it going over the?
Because I've got to get shots of this police station. I tried to get one the other day, and two policemen come and talk to me.
Right.
And they talked to me for ages, and they ruined my battery. All the time I was talking to them,
Yeah.
battery ran down. And then,
What you've got to understand. So, if you fly it over things like police stations,
Yeah.
it's classed as hostile reconnaissance.
oh, it's not hostile reconnaissance.
Okay, but what's it for?
It's for my YouTube channel.
Right. Okay, but what's it going to do?
It's going to sit on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, but it's not, because the problem is we've got personal cars and things like that in there. We've got police officers.
Oh, don't worry about them.
I know, but if it's gone on a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
it shows things that it
Well,
necessarily doesn't need to.
It ain't going to see any regis from up there.
As the officer walks over, he starts asking the auditor about the drone and wrongly suggests it could be hostile reconnaissance, even though there is no evidence for that. The situation gets worse because the officer handles it in a careless way. Instead of asking the auditor to land the drone safely first, he begins questioning him while the drone is still in the air, which distracts the pilot during flight. This is not just unprofessional, it is unsafe. Flying a drone needs full attention to keep it under control and avoid accidents. By interrupting the pilot mid-flight, the officer creates an unnecessary safety risk. If there was a real concern, the proper approach would have been to calmly ask for the drone to be landed first before starting any question.
I know, but we can't say it isn't. So there are.
Let me just land it while I talk.
Yeah, go on. What's your name, dude?
I had to tell you my name.
And I need to ask, don't I?
No, because you don't need to know my name.
Because I need to know who's flying drones over a police station. So I do.
I hadn't flown it over the police station.
Okay.
I've literally just took off and it was there, and then you come to talk to me, so I hadn't done anything yet.
Yeah, but our front office has called through to say there's somebody.
I'll tell him to stop whinging.
No, because that's the job, isn't it?
Yeah, but it isn't, because I'm not. I don't understand if I was doing something illegal, but I'm not. I'm just flying a quad.
Yeah, but it might be classed as.
Oh, it's not classed as anything, mate.
Flying a small drone over police property is not a crime, especially if the drone weighs under 250 g, which puts it in the open category under UK drone rules. As long as the pilot can keep the drone in sight, stays away from restricted airspace, and follows basic safety rules, they do not need permission from the owner of the land below, even if it is a police station. However, in this situation, the officer still asks the auditor for his personal details without having any real reason to suspect a crime. He is only acting on a report from the front office, not on any clear evidence. Under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, PACE, and Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002, officers must have a proper legal reason to demand identification, which is not present in this case.
What size is that?
What size?
Yeah.
No, it's about, I don't know,
Weight.
6 inches or
The
something.
weight.
Oh, the weight.
Yeah.
The weight, it's 249.
But you're going to show me, but you don't, and then you won't tell me who you are, and it's
I don't want to tell you who I am. I don't, because it's against our, it's breaching our rights. You see,
well, it isn't, because you're breaching a lot of rights, really.
what rights have I breached?
As in people's rights to privacy and data protection and stuff like that in relation to people's potential vehicles and workplace. That's why we've got electronic gates on there, isn't it? So people don't access it.
There's no breach.
And I'm not.
No rights being
I'm not
breached.
saying anything, but we still need to know who people are who fly.
Why?
Police. We do need to.
Why?
Because we do.
Filming vehicles or buildings from a public place or from public airspace is generally not a breach of privacy under UK law. People do not usually have an expectation of privacy in public spaces, and GDPR does not apply to private individuals who are filming for personal or journalistic use. So, claiming that simply flying a drone near a police station is a privacy violation is incorrect. Officers can approach someone and ask questions, but a person is not legally required to give personal details unless there is a valid legal reason, such as reasonable suspicion of an offense or antisocial behavior. Saying, "We need to know who is flying over the police station," on its own is not enough to legally demand ID. In this case, the officer is trying to suggest that flying a drone near a police building is automatically suspicious or illegal, but that is not supported by law.
Information you're gathering, I don't know what that's for.
It's from a YouTube channel.
Okay, show me your YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm looking at it.
We don't need to knock any more, do you?
No, but so there's that one.
Oh yeah, look at more. Do you want to see more?
Some more, that's all.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like police stations and things, because there's obviously people's vehicles.
I do police stations too.
And obviously, yeah, but obviously, as you know, that
There's no fair.
Some people might not be as legitimate as you. So,
Yeah, I don't.
And the problem is, if we start to get, people picking up registration or images of people, because sometimes people don't want their images on things and things like that. So it's things like data protection we've got to look at.
Yeah.
And we've got to be careful with, innit?
Instead of focusing on whether any law has actually been broken, which clearly hasn't, the officer asks to see the auditor's YouTube channel, as if the legality depends on how the footage might be used. In reality, it doesn't. The auditor is not required to explain his intentions or show his content, especially while acting within the law. The situation becomes more concerning when the officer leans in to view the videos and even lightly handles the phone while doing so. This creates unnecessary pressure and goes beyond a normal conversation. It suggests a level of interference that isn't justified by any clear legal issue. Overall, it comes across as an example of how vague suspicions can be used to push into someone's lawful activity, even when there is no real evidence of wrongdoing.
All right.
I can't get any faces from up there. What it is to be is about 50 metres up.
So it's 249 gram one, isn't it? Because I think there's different legislations with drones, isn't there?
Yeah, it says there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to ask you to not please over the police station.
Okay, I accept you've asked me.
I understand you won't give me your details.
Yeah.
That could be different if I thought there was any offences in it. Or if there's any.
Oh yeah, if
there's anything in it that would be.
I believe you. I mean, if you used to say you suspect me of an offence, I'd tell you my name just like that.
Yeah. What you got to remember, I mean, we can go further into things, but we can look at terrorist offences technically with people.
I'm not a terrorist.
No, I'm not saying you are, sir. But you know what I mean. But that's the potential that we'll get with people with drones into.
Yeah, I've heard
these people can really try and get footage for the really wrong reasons.
Yeah,
and I don't think you are.
No, I'm not.
But I also don't want other people to use your images that you get for the wrong reasons as well.
If the officer is genuinely concerned about people using footage for harmful purposes, then that logic would also apply to widely available tools like Google Maps, Google Earth, Street View, and other platforms that provide public aerial and street-level imagery to anyone in the world. However, the officer's role is not to act on vague possibilities or assumptions about what someone might do. It is to respond to actual behavior and whether any laws are being broken. In this case, there is no clear sign of suspicious or unlawful activity, just a person legally filming a building from a permitted position. When you compare it to the vast amount of detailed imagery already freely available online, the concern about this specific drone footage becomes harder to justify. In that context, the reasoning based on possible misuse does not hold up, especially when no real evidence of wrongdoing is present.
But they're not illegal.
But they can be, can't they? No, but they can cause problems, can't they?
No.
Does that make sense?
No.
It can cause problems for people if people take your images for the wrong reason. If you're filming over the A63 and with the work they're doing, that's absolutely fine, isn't it? Because there's nothing in there that's of any interest to people.
Okay.
But what happens in a police station is of interest to some people.
Yeah.
Different to what your interest is in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm going to be such a distance. I'll be like, it's literally like sitting over there and filming over here with a camera phone. Yeah. And that's all, how tiny everything would be.
There's lots of reasons why it's not safe for people if people are filming a police station. That's all.
I respect what you're saying,
we have to take it seriously because we have to protect that, because it puts us in danger at times and things like that. And I say it's not you.
I don't want to put anyone in danger.
I know you don't. But
what I'll do,
but there's some people that maybe would.
Yeah. So what I'll do then is I'll keep up eye out the way, so no one will see me, and I won't see it.
I'll see you leave now from the police station.
I can't leave now.
By telling the auditor to leave a public footpath without any clear legal reason, the officer goes beyond what his authority allows. Instead of calming the situation or checking whether any laws are actually being broken, he tries to remove the person even though he does not appear to have the legal power to do so. Public spaces do not become restricted just because an officer feels uncomfortable. What is happening here looks less like proper judgment and more like exerting control. When police act this way without a lawful basis, it can damage public trust and goes against what policing is supposed to be about.
You got to, because that's why I've been saying.
I can't.
So yeah, you got to, because,
I can't.
because otherwise I
haven't done my job.
I know, but you have done it.
I haven't.
For now, because
haven't.
It's still not allowed to be flown over the police.
It is allowed.
It isn't.
It is. It's the CAA that let me do it.
Who?
The CAA.
CAA.
Civil Aviation Authority.
This response points to a serious issue. The officer appears to be trying to enforce drone rules without even knowing about the Civil Aviation Authority, the UK body responsible for regulating all drone flights. If a police officer is not aware of the main authority that sets these regulations, it raises questions about how they can accurately tell someone what is legal or illegal. This comes across as a situation where enforcement is based more on assumption than actual knowledge of the law. As a result, it creates the impression that a person's lawful rights can be challenged by officers who may not fully understand the rules they are trying to apply.
They don't, yeah, but
So I'll show you here. There's nothing there. Look, nothing at all. Nothing. The only place in all is literally that.
Yeah.
They sometimes put temporary restrictions, but there isn't any.
Right.
Police sometimes do come up with the terrorist stuff and try and use that against us, but it's not true. It's just an abuse of power, that really.
No, it isn't, because
it is.
I'm not saying that you are,
nah.
But people who might be interested in that, they get a lot of information that they won't get any other way. So they could use your footage to gain information.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. And
but if a real terrorist really come along, they could sit over there, right over there, and they could fly from over there and just fly over, get the bits, and then go.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course they could. Yeah, I know they could.
Okay.
But it makes their life so much easier if they don't have to do it because other people are unwittingly doing it for them.
Nothing on my video will be able to be any help to any terrorist, I promise.
The only other compromise that I'm going to need is your details.
I ain't giving my details.
Because
I don't got to.
Because there's a recordable offence with this.
Is it what?
There is a recordable offence for this.
How? Why?
And so we will need you.
What offence would it be?
I'm just waiting for that information.
Okay, I bet they ain't got it.
Because I don't know the wording.
Yeah, I bet they ain't got it.
The officer claims there may be a recordable offense involved, but when asked to identify it, he admits he does not know and is waiting for clarification over the radio. This creates a clear problem. An officer cannot properly accuse someone of a potential offense, demand personal details because of it, and then be unable to say what law is actually being relied on. In this case, it comes across as guesswork rather than informed enforcement if someone's actions are being questioned, especially in a regulated area like drone use. The officer should already understand the relevant law before making demands. Without that, the situation looks uncertain and poorly grounded in legal reasoning.
What I mean is there's a lot of people flying these and the law's been explored.
Well, the legislation's changing, isn't it? Because it has to change with them because of some of the problems that they can cause.
It hasn't changed since the last time though, a couple of years ago. It's legal.
Well,
if they want to.
And that's why legislation changes, isn't it? To
yeah, but until it changes, it's allowed.
I think it has. It
hasn't. It hasn't.
Bear with me. I'm going to find out what it is. I'll tell you what it is. And if we're not right, then I'll happily say we're not.
Yeah.
I think we are.
Yeah. Some policemen do. Some admit they're wrong and apologise. I've seen it on a few videos. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they dig their heels in and they think they're right when they're not, and then they go off in a huff.
The officer tries to take control of the situation by suggesting that drone laws have recently changed because of new risks involving drones. However, this is not accurate. The auditor corrects him, and the regulations have in fact not changed in the way the officer implies that UK drone rules were last significantly updated in December 2020, when the Civil Aviation Authority introduced the current system dividing operations into the open, specific, and certified categories. Since then, there have been no major changes to those core rules, aside from some transitional arrangements being extended until January 2026. Because of this, The officer's claim about recent changes does not match the actual regulatory framework. It gives the impression of uncertainty about the law being used to justify the interaction, rather than a clear understanding of it.
I haven't got a problem. The only thing I am telling you, and I'm being perfectly honest, is that part of it might be a request for your details, and that might be something we've got to get round, or we've got to get through and deal with. If that's the case, then you know, we'll talk about that. But
So you're a sergeant then? Who are you taking the orders off from up there? Is it someone up top, an inspector or something?
No, we have a force incident manager. So
is that I was telling you your info?
So they're just checking.
Is he like going on Google and finding out from there and then telling you?
He'll have some legislation in front of him, and then there'll be loads of legislation for things like this, and loads of it to go through. Yeah,
we've got to work within the law. If they're not out of bounds at the moment, we're allowed to do it. It's not really, we don't obey laws that don't exist yet and think they might change and we'll worry about it. We just get our jobs done, and then if it changes later, we've got the footage already.
Right, so we're getting that.
Good.
Right, so can I just take the details of your drone? That's all.
What do you mean the details?
As in the sort of size and the make. That's all. And we've done the size anyway, haven't we?
It's 249 grams.
So 249 ultra light.
Yeah, it's a DJI.
What's this? Is that your operator's license?
No, it's my operating ID.
Right, so it's GB. OP, IQK, NT, PV, W3T, and that's why you drop off your license.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's okay. Under the legislation, you've got to either do that, land it, as you have, and go and show me the details of it, or you've got to give me your details.
There it is.
A Mini 4 Pro. You're not giving me your details.
No.
Okay.
But I've given you them. That links to them.
But because you've given me that, then I've got that and I'm happy. Okay.
Under UK drone rules regulated by the Civil Aviation Authority, CAA, operators must display an operator ID on their drone if it weighs over 250 G or has a camera. However, just because this ID is visible does not automatically give police the right to demand it, record it, or use it to trace someone's personal details without a proper legal reason. Officers can only require or act on this information if there is a lawful basis, such as reasonable suspicion of an offense, a safety risk, or a formal investigation under the Air Navigation Order 2016 or related CAA regulations. In this situation, the officer had no evidence of wrongdoing and even admitted he did not know what law was involved, yet still claimed the auditor had to land the drone and provide details. This can be seen as an overreach and misuse of police powers. Using an operator ID to identify someone without legal justification may also raise concerns under Article 8 of the Human Rights Act, which protects the right to privacy.
Okay.
Right.
That'll give you my name if you go look it up.
So we've sort of got there.
Yeah.
It's legislation changes all the time, and that's where where it sits at the moment.
Yeah.
Whether it'll change again, it'll change again at some point, because it'll have to some extent, and different things that happen change the legislation, don't they?
Yeah.
Always. It's the same with law.
Yeah.
We have state cases change the way the law works.
Yeah. It's always updating.
So it's the same as that. All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate not giving details. Yeah, that's your choice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you talking to me.
Okay, thanks.
Because you've given me what I need, and I know you're not a wrong un.
No, I'm not.
I also don't want, just please, can I ask you that, you do make sure there's nothing put across that's going to...
I won't put anything online that's going to put anyone at any risk at all. None at all.
Because that's the bottom line. I don't want anyone, whether it's you, whether it's me or colleagues or anyone else, I don't want people coming at risk because of things that people say.
There won't be any of that.
I don't want criminals, organised criminals to be assisted by somebody unwittingly.
No.
Because that's not...
No, I'll give them nothing. I mean, if they want to look at the outside of a police building from a little bit higher, I mean, if that helps them, they won't. But that's all they're going to get.
What's your first name, please?
I'd rather not see it.
So I can speak to you. What's your first
Steve.
Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
As the officer ended the interaction, it becomes clear that he was on uncertain ground from the start. He approached while the drone was still flying, instead of first asking for it to be safely landed, which created distraction and a possible safety risk. The situation then worsened. The officer showed concern that the footage might be misused, even though there was no evidence for this. He also appeared to lack basic knowledge of the Civil Aviation Authority, CAA, the UK body responsible for drone regulations, and continued arguing without a clear understanding of the rules. It escalated further when he suggested there may be a recordable offense, but later admitted he did not actually know what offense it was and was waiting for confirmation over the radio. That raised questions about the legal basis of his actions. Finally, he took the operator ID and claimed legislation required it, suggesting he had the right to inspect it. However, this interpretation appeared incorrect and showed confusion about how drone regulations work. Overall, the interaction comes across as poorly informed and uncertain in terms of legal authority and procedure.